Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jennifer C. at HomeLifeCultureLink.com, Nino Simeka at MortgageGodfather.ca, and Jewelry Forever at JewelryForever.ca. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome. Here we are. It's another beautiful, actually it's a really nice Sunday morning. I haven't actually looked out the window, but now that I'm sitting here, it's a beautiful Sunday morning, sunny blue skies. There are clouds in the sky, but they're puffy white ones that are pleasant to look at and not treacherous. Good morning. It's episode 81 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. And, I'm joined, as always, of course, although this time through the magic of the internet because of, the situation we're all in, the one, the only greatest co-host in the galaxy,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday fun day. I'm going to change my intro because I can hear myself getting annoyed with myself. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to The Sit Down. Hey, Scott, what's up?
Not too much. So you're saying that as time has gone, you feel that your intro, you're outgrowing it. I
feel like, because you know what it is. Even when I do my YouTube videos, I'm like Regina Alaina. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know. I'll come up with something.
I think that's a normal thing. You notice it's like even
You're
like
the same
musicians
way.
when.
Good morning, it's Scott Dion Brown.
That's true. Well, but that's the thing. Even what I say now, it started to change. It started to. Well, it's like when artists come out with music, and then like after a few years, they don't even want to play their old music anymore because it's like just gone by. It's like it's Regina Alaina. Maybe you're starting to feel like it's played out. If you guys want to hear that intro.
I can be like DJ Khaled and be like DJ. I'm just kidding.
Okay, you're. Yeah. We'll find a new intro for Regine. Although I think the Silver Lining guys will be devastated to find out that you're changing what you say.
I'll keep Regina Alaina. I just won't say Sunday Fun Day. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay,
you know what? It grows. It changes. That's life. Regine, that's life.
It's COVID. That's what happened. It's the only thing I say on a regular basis now.
There you go. So it forced the change of your Sunday Fun Day intro.
Exactly.
Very, very sad. All right. Well, Regine, maybe we should bring in our guests right away because they're here. They're actually. We told them there's like an intro and we talk for a bit. But the truth is, like, they're there right from the beginning. Our guests are always there. So, like, this part of the conversation, it's like having a conversation, you and I, with two other people in the room.
Just listening.
But they're not allowed to say anything.
They're mute. Sorry, guys.
So maybe we should bring them in. Our guests today, ladies and gentlemen, are two very talented actors. Mm-hmm. And also filmmakers, as their latest film, Switch, has just been featured in a film festival. I believe it's called, they're going to remind us, but I believe it's called the Isolation Film Fest. I think that's what it's called.
Cool.
But we'll get more details from them. But anyway, they just finished the movie and they've put it out into the world. And they're here to talk about it. And I'm very excited. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the sit down stage, Michael Chan and Timothy Ng.
Hey guys.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome, guys. So how you guys doing? What's going on?
Good. Having a good Sunday. Just trying to get my daughter to eat because she won't eat from my wife. today. I don't know what's going on, but she was being super stubborn right before the show. So I was like upstairs trying to feed her and then running down here to be in the show.
Speaking of your family and your family, Michael, you said you wanted to start the show off.
So yes, thank you. I do want to start to show off. Well, actually, now there are two things I want to start to show off with. First of all, everybody get on your social media and use the hashtag new intro for Regine. Just to tell us what new intro you want to hear her use.
Or should I just keep it?
All right, fine.
We'll have a vote.
So, I've been on the sit down before, and the last time I was here, you guys asked me when I got married, and I don't know why, but I said 2001. And then my wife was like, what now? I was still a teenager, Michael. What the heck? So no, we were married in 2011.
Oh, you missed a one.
Just added a decade on there.
Oops.
As you do.
So yes.
So for the record,
letting me amend that.
yeah, the record has been corrected. There is an extra. There's another 10 years. Those 10 years are coming, but you guys haven't got there yet.
Yes. But now tonight I can finally stop sleeping on the couch because I've been since the last show that I was there.
Since the last show.
That was in September. So you've been sleeping on the couch for a
very long time.
Yeah,
yes.
All the time.
It was a devastating error, and I'm glad we finally corrected it today. Let me say hi to a few people in the chat here who we got in the morning. Regine Alaina says good morning. Yay! Hi, Regine. Death Shot got sour cream and onion chips with soda. Death Shot, delicious. Death Shot's always got the best snacks.
Chips. And you guys know I love my chips, so.
There you go. Death Shot, did you hear that? Regine Alaina says her favorite chips are sour cream and onion chips. Mm-hmm. With soda, Regine, do you like soda with your chips?
Depends. Sometimes
Depends on?
Sometimes no. Depends on how I feel. Like, sometimes you're already intaking so much salt. Do you really want to intake a lot of sugar?
Makes sense.
As you're choking on your tea.
Went down the wrong pipe.
You're good.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Death Shot, delicious, yummy sour cream and onion chips. Then Regine says I got coffee. I want coffee now. I like to eat a lot in the morning. Well, Death Shot, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so it's good to eat a lot in the morning, I guess. Although, is that still what they say? I know that's what they used to say. Is that still a thing? Do you guys know?
You know what? I've been hearing so many different things where, like, you should be fasting in the morning, or, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What is it really?
What were you going to say, Michael?
Oh, I was going to say, no, I keep hearing breakfast is the most important, but then there's all these people who are doing intermittent fasting now, and I can't do it. I get headaches when I'm hungry, so that'll literally make it so that I can't function in the morning. I can't do that. So breakfast, technically, for me, is the most important meal of the day. Gets me going.
There you go.
Coffee, I'm fine.
As long as you got your coffee.
Yeah.
That's a meal in
Makes sense.
But
I usually just eat when I'm hungry.
Pardon?
I usually just eat when I'm hungry, so breakfast is kind of breakfast, lunch, dinner is kind of non-existent. It's just kind of like whenever I want to eat, whatever I eat, whenever I eat. So
that's fair.
When you think of it, that actually is the system that kind of makes the most sense. You're hungry, so you eat. Okay, that's good. Okay, Death Shot says it's still a thing. So I guess that is still a thing that they say. So because you never know, sometimes it changes, right? Like, I mean, like stuff that they were always telling everybody, like say when I was a kid or whatever. I don't know. There are trends, there are fads, and also I don't know. The scientific knowledge becomes known, and things change over time. I don't know. Rosanna Shaw, Scotty, hello Rosanna, welcome to the show. Hello, thanks for tuning in. How are ya? Danny Owens, hello. When are you going to stream Brawlhalla? Tomorrow. Brawlhalla stream tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll do a 1v1 tournament. How are you, Danny? Welcome to the show.
Someone asked Scott, when are you going to play Brawlhalla? At least
Yeah,
once an episode.
Yep,
It's a fun-
that's where we are now.
It's a fun
It is,
game.
yeah, it is an awesome. Have you played it, Timothy?
I have, yeah. Played it on several different platforms, computer, PS2. Is it on PS? No, it's not.
Yeah, it's on PS4. Yeah, it was. It took a little
PS4.
longer to go pro. Yeah.
PS4, and then
Yeah.
and now I have a Switch, so I play on the Switch.
Sweet. Yeah, I've been doing Brawlhalla streams 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So quite a few people tune in for those streams, and yeah, some of them come in and tune into the sit down. But then there are some who are like, oh, Scott's on, maybe it's Brawlhalla, and then they go, oh,
No.
oh, who are these people?
Discipline.
We are the
But yes, Danny, Brawlhalla Monday night. Brawlhalla Monday night. Well, because I did on Friday night. We had a 2v2 tournament on Friday, and anytime there was like any downtime, I was like, and guys, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. I'll be having these 2 actors and filmmakers on the show, and I show the thumbnail. So that's why we got a couple showing up here.
great
Alright,
plug,
great.
Scott.
Yeah. So you know what? Speaking of filmmaking, let's talk about Switch, because you guys have created a short film here. Tell us about it.
You want to go first, or you want me?
Rock, paper, scissors.
You go first, Mike.
Okay, so I mean, when this pandemic started and we all basically started staying home, like trying to find a way to stay creative. And then a film festival actually here in Canada, started by casting director Stephen Mann, called the Canadian Isolation Short Film Festival, came along. He announced it and was just asking for submissions. And he said it's supposed to be 3 minutes or less, and made films made in isolation using cell phones or tablets. And I'm like,
Nice.
hey, I guess I could do that. So I contacted Timothy, and yeah, we just started to get to work. We wrote a script, and then we just started filming on our cell phones. And next thing you know, we put together Switch and submitted it to the festival. And that was before they extended the deadline like twice, because it got like super huge. It went from like this tiny festival with like no sponsors to like sponsored by Bell and Cineplex and all that, with over 800 submissions. So yeah, it was pretty big. But yeah, like we didn't end up being a selection at that festival, because honestly, like the final selections of their top 30 were just mind-blowingly amazing, especially after they took away the cell phone and tablet only restriction. So like people were using cinema grade cameras and just some of the most incredible editing I've ever seen, you know, at a small film festival, and all done in isolation. So it was just it was crazy. But so yeah, that's where our film started. But since the ISFF, we've actually started to submit it elsewhere. And that's how we ended up getting selected for a festival in the UK called the Isolation Film Festival.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's the thing. It's I mean, it's neat that you said how it blew up like that, the Canadian one, and it makes sense because, well, I mean, all 3 of us are actors. We're all in the same boat. Like there are a lot of actors who aren't doing any acting right now. So we're all just kind of at home. So I think this thing comes out and it's like, something to do it, jump on it. So it makes sense to me that it would explode like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So where did the inspiration for the film come from?
The inspiration for the film was just like we were just kind of spitballing, and we were like, oh, like how are people coping with this pandemic? And a lot of people have started like buying Switches and Animal Crossing, and then they're like that's how people are escaping. So like they're like, okay, so let's do something about the Switch. Like, you know, like what funny thing can we come up with? And then it just became a thing where it was like, because I share my Switch with my girlfriend, so I'm like, okay, I want to play, she wants to play, but like, when can I have my time to play, you know, and all that. And so I'm like, and then so Michael came up with the idea, oh, I'll hide in the bathroom, like, you know, like secretly, like, you know, playing and and so like that, like, you know, that idea just kind of sparked, and we're like, yo, that is really funny. I'm like happy to jump on board. And then like, yeah, it just became a thing about like Animal Crossing. Like, when can I have my time to play Animal Crossing?
It's very funny. I mean, Death Shot in the chat's like, when I mentioned the title of the film, he's like, Switch, not the Nintendo Switch. Yes, Death Shot, the Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch. Yeah, we couldn't come up with a more original name, so we just kept it because really Switch. It is what the film is about.
Yeah.
But what I like is that it's not that. Like, I didn't know when you first sent me the trailer and sent me like with a title of the film that's what it was referring to. So it almost contributes to the enjoyment of the film more. As you're watching it, you kind of realize, oh wait, because especially, I mean, obviously no spoilers for people, but it's just like when it starts, you don't fully know what it's about. It kind of starts, you know, with your character looking very dramatic, Michael, like asking a very serious question, and then it just kind of goes from there, and it's just very, I don't know, I laughed. I enjoyed it very much.
Like, seeing the trailer and just seeing how the two of you are interacting with each other, I'm like, yeah, that is exactly isolation in its finest. Like, as Timothy was saying, people are buying Switches. I myself was like, I want to buy a Switch. I was like, you're not even going to play it afterwards. So I didn't get one, but I did want one. It's interesting that you said that.
So yeah, speaking of the trailer, that's an interesting thing. That trailer was actually made well after the film was submitted to the festival. We actually made it a week before the Canadian Isolation Short Film Festival aired, and it was actually more of because like we were seeing how a lot of other filmmakers were promoting their films. They had like beautiful movie posters. I mean, we had a movie poster, but they had a movie poster. and then some of them were like, oh, I'm just going to show my entire film, or, oh, I'm going to have this awesome trailer. And I'm like, well, our film's 2 minutes long. We got to do something about this. How are we going to do a trailer without spoiling our film, since we have so little footage? And then we just ended up shooting brand new footage. and like, so yeah, the trailer in and of itself is a short film.
Yeah, I guess that would be a challenge, right? Because if you're, I mean, yeah, it's, well, again, there aren't like that many camera angles to deal with.
No.
And so how do you make a trailer that, yeah, so, you know, makes sense. That's a challenging situation to find yourselves in.
I will say that even with brand new footage, it doesn't misrepresent what the film is. Like, we did our very best to make sure that our trailer did represent our film. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Death Shot says, making short films seems really fun.
It is.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So I'll say this, like, I consider myself a first-time filmmaker. Now, I did make a few attempts, like at the very beginning of my acting career. You know, I came out of film school. I was, you know, hot. I was like, yeah, we're going to go. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Make my own stuff. Yeah. So me and a few of my friends, we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Let's make a film about a PS4. Yes, another video game system.
Wow. We
made a film about the Yakuza and the PS4, and it was like, it was a terrible movie. And then I was like, okay, me and my friends, we're gonna make a movie about vlogging. Okay, here we go. We're gonna use just a webcam, a really crappy webcam, and horrible makeup, and that was a disaster, and we quit. So.
Do you still have
wait, do you mean Sorry, wait, logging is in like
vlogging,
like the logging,
like, video, like blogging, but on video.
Oh,
because
vlogging.
Vlogging was in its infancy back then, and we wanted to jump on that and be like, okay, let's make this movie about a dude who has like a vlog, and he's turning into a zombie on his vlog, and it was, it's embarrassing. So I kind of
that's a cool. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. The concept-wise, it's pretty cool.
Maybe you should try.
Well, no, just when you were talking, I thought you said logging, as in like the logging industry, like people who cut down trees. And I was like, that's very random. I was like, how did you come up with the idea to do a logging video? But that was just me.
Hey Scott, do you want to make a lumberjack zombie movie then? Me, you, Tim, Regine. Let's get all four of us in a lumberjack zombie flick.
I mean, I don't know if such a film has been made, so maybe this is the time. Although it would be a tough one to do in isolation.
For all of you watching, you heard it here first, okay? You guys cannot take this concept.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna put a name down for this film: Log of the Dead.
Oh, the walking log.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The walking log coming soon.
The walking log.
My acting debut. There you go.
There you go.
Do this. But yeah,
we'd have to find a way to do it in isolation. Is the only
but
challenge.
you would be vlogging as well.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's about 4 loggers who can't log because of a zombie apocalypse, so they turn to vlogging, and then the film is just taking place. It's an early concept. We're working on it. Deathshot asks, who's going to be the lumberjack? I think we're all lumberjacks.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes together. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Speaking of the
Lumberjack?
Switch.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Speaking of lumberjack, what do you guys think of? No, you guys. So obviously you both have Switches. What have you guys been playing on the Switch? What games have you been trying out?
For me, Zelda Breath of the Wild, NBA 2K, Animal Crossing. Those are like the top 3 that I've just been playing.
Cool.
I actually haven't been playing my Switch because my wife is playing Animal Crossing on it.
So he's got to hide in the bathroom to play it. So
yeah, I had started Untitled Goose Game, but but I haven't made it very far in that. So I've actually mostly been gaming on my laptop. So I've been playing Borderlands 3, which I do stream on Twitch, as well as I just started What the Golf, which is like a mini golf game where you golf a bunch of stuff. Like you can like putt a house.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
Yeah, like it was crazy. It's so creative. Basically, yeah, they put you on a green, and then there's like a whole bunch of stuff. You always start off not really knowing what you're about to putt. And then when it becomes apparent, then you have to, and they have really good physics in the game. So then you have to figure out how to putt that thing into the hole. So
interesting. What the golf? No, I'm kidding.
It literally is called What the Golf?
Interesting.
Cool. Timothy, how are you liking? How far are you in Breath of the Wild?
I have beaten the all 4 of the divine beasts. And I've beaten Ganon like once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. No. I was just gonna say like I've beaten Ganon like once, and like pretty much that's it. I just kind of run around the field and kind of find all the shrines, but still a lot of shrines to complete.
Yeah, well, so in fact, the reason I'm asking is because literally last night I beat Ganon, and now my brother he played the game quite a while ago, and he beat Ganon and all that stuff, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I beat the game, and then it said I've only completed like 24% of the game, right? And I've been playing the game. My girlfriend and I, we've been playing it together, and like, we've gotten what I thought are like, the map looks like full. It's like, oh look, we got like almost all the shrines wicked. We've got so many Korok seeds, and we beat Ganon last night, and we're at 34%. So I'm like, how many Korok seeds are there in this game?
I think there's like 400.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
yeah.
I like looking at Michael's reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, 400 Korok seeds. It's crazy, and it's like hidden in like the weirdest places too. And you're like trying to figure out like where to place the rock or wherever. And you're like I was just watching a run through, and like I think it took the guy like, I don't know, like 2 days to complete, but he found every single Korok seed in the game, and every shrine. It was like a 100% speed run, and I'm like just sitting there. I'm like, I don't think I could like sit here and watch like 2 days worth of like, speed run.
So even a speed run is 2 days.
Oh my
God.
Good luck, Scott.
Yeah, well, so now I'm debating whether I should download like because you heard there's like downloadable content or whatever, so you can download extra stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should go to that or if I should just stick it out and try to grab all of the like. I feel like now it's just a Korok seed game now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still need to beat the game, so.
The thing about the thing about the downloadable content is kind of like hit or miss. Like if you have the Master Sword and you want it to be like powered up, then you know, get the downloadable content. Then you have to do like I think like 6 levels of like this thing called a trial, and then finally you'll have your Master Sword powered up. But like it's honestly is so time consuming, and then you get to fight Mass Koshia after you beat all the shrines. You have your final boss. So the person that's sitting behind the shrine, you get to face that monk basically, and like and then after that she gives you a reward of the bike.
I've seen some footage of that.
Cycle.
Yeah.
All
right, I'm probably gonna do it because I mean the truth is I'm loving the game. Like I'm just loving even like almost even more than the main quest. The world is so nice to just walk around like explore. It's just a lovely thing. Except I was so shocked that having found as many things as I found, that I was still so far from finishing the game. So it kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit. But, so it was tough. But let's see. Deathshot says, when it comes to Zelda, I'm an Ocarina of Time guy, and Marty Lynn also says Ocarina of Time is still the best title in my humble opinion. Did you guys ever play Ocarina of Time?
No.
I started it on the 3DS, but I didn't get very far.
Ocarina of Time was the first one, like it was N64, and I would agree with you guys. That one is definitely the classic, the best. I'm loving Breath of the Wild though, just because it's so. I feel like Breath of the Wild is kind of what Ocarina of Time was trying to be, but obviously you couldn't make a world that big because like that was kind of the first real open world game. But the world it felt big at the time, but now this world is just massive. I'm loving the open world. That's the thing. Now that when I finish Zelda, I don't know what I should play next because I don't really know what other games. Are there other games that are kind of like it? I don't know.
I mean, they put Witcher 3, the complete collection, on Switch, so maybe you want to try that, unless you've played it on another system.
I have not. I've never played any of the Witcher. Have you played the Witcher games? Would you recommend them?
I have not. I actually also just bought the Witcher 3 complete collection for Switch, so I hope that once my wife is further along in Animal Crossing, and I'll sneak into the bathroom and play a little.
Play a little bit. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles apparently is kind of like open world, like Breath of the Wild a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's another one I've heard of. Except the only thing I'm not sure if I would like, although I guess I got to try it, is like the fighting system is different because it's like an RPG or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so you're not fighting the way, and I've never really played those types of games growing up, so I'm not sure if I would like it or not. I guess I just got to try it. I don't know. Deathshot says the stamina in Breath of the Wild has gotten me killed so many times. Yes, don't start swimming across the river or climbing a mountain. Or you're going to be in trouble. Absolutely. Anyway, that was a little bit of video game talk for all of you guys.
Timothy is also a first-time filmmaker.
Yeah.
So what was it like? You guys, this was your first film. So obviously you're both actors otherwise. So how did it feel kind of bringing the whole project to completion? I mean, I know, Michael, you said you've made films before, but I don't know, Timothy, have you made films before this or let me know.
Like Michael, I've attempted. The first ever thing that I've tried to like film was like kind of like an MTV Cribs type of thing.
Did you show your
and it was sorry?
Did you show the?
Oh no! This was like way back. Like this was like shot on like the like white brick Sony Ericsson.
Oh
like,
my god!
Because they had like those like it was like this huge like megapixel camera on the Sony Ericsson, and like it was all the rage. So I was like, okay, yo, let's film something on this, and we were like at a friend's house, and we were like, oh, let's try to film like this MTV Cribs thing, and then we tried to do it, and then afterwards I looked at it and I was like, it's really, really blurry. Like I'm like, I don't think I can put this out. And then like I haven't really like done much since, and I've had like a bunch of concepts of like, oh, this would be an awesome film, and a lot of my friends are like really, really good basketball players, and so I was like, oh, maybe like I could like film them like playing basketball or something like that, and it just never really turns out to be how I imagined it. So I was like, okay, let's just put that on the back burner, and then when
just kidding.
And then actually after having a few more like experience with like self tapes and like all that stuff, and like now I know it's like, oh, okay, this is how to, you know, where to place a camera and like how to be in the shot and make sure everything's going correct, and also being in like several like productions also helps. Like, okay, you know where your frame is, you know how to do like takes, and you can just edit, and you don't have to worry about like oh shoot, I made a mistake, I gotta quickly, you know, cut it. Like you can just kind of have it one continual thing and then just cut it afterwards in post.
Yeah, makes sense. You pick stuff up even just being on set. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Once you see how other people are doing it, because then you see little things that, like, obviously, you know, anybody who knows, well, or whether you don't know, when you watch TV, right, what you see on camera, I mean, there's so much going on behind camera. It's almost, yeah. I mean, it's like, it seems like a very obvious thing to say, but it's very just like the number of things, and also weird things that you never even think of that are just happening. I don't know. So it definitely would probably help as once as an actor, now that you've been on set, you can kind of, you pick things up and you see tricks of the trade and all that. Actually, what were you going to say something, Michael?
Oh no, I totally agree. Like I think, you know, my many years, because I've been acting for 14 years, so I feel that the experience I've had on so many different sets, big and small, has actually contributed to my ability to make switch. Like I was personally quite surprised at how well it turned out. Like way better than anything I have ever done, obviously, and especially considering I haven't touched filmmaking again since the beginning of my career. So that technically now I'm a first-time filmmaker. So that I'm like, okay, I've absorbed a ton just by being an actor, and that's crazy.
So I have a question for you guys. So I know from my pageant world, once you do one pageant, you have the pageant bug. So now that you've moved forward into filmmaking, do you have a filmmaking bug, and can we expect more from you guys during quarantine?
You want to start, Tim?
Sure. Yeah. I found it to be a really, really fun, easy process. Well, I don't want to say easy because, you know, like takes do take up time and all that stuff. But like it is like it's fun. It's actually makes you see the different like another side of the business, and you're like, oh, okay, this is what goes into this, and it just gives you like overall knowledge of the industry and stuff. So yeah, for sure. Like I think this would be something that I would do going forward, just because it was a lot of fun, and Yeah.
For me, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say I caught the bug necessarily, because I don't see it as something I will do. Let's say it's instead of acting, but I definitely see myself doing more of it. And actually, I've already collaborated with Katisha Shah, who is also a first-time filmmaker and a phenomenal actress. I worked with her on her film called A Brush with Conspiracy, which is actually on YouTube right now. It's a film about the makeup brush challenge. You know that thing where people have like the makeup brush fall into their lap, they'll take it up, and then they're kind of in schlubby clothing, they'll go put the brush up to the camera, and then they come back and now they're all like really yeah, exactly.
Glam,
so she made a whole film about that, but with a twist, and I don't want to give it away. So I worked with her on her film, and it was a great experience. And again, go watch it, Brush with Conspiracy on YouTube. And now I'm like, I just participated in a script slam that a friend of mine, friend of ours actually, Tim, you and I were in that, where we wrote some scripts and then had a bunch of other actors read them. So I feel like the script
I think you caught the bug.
I think in a way I have.
I think
but I do want to make the film that I submitted to the slam, which is a musical sketch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So more to come.
More to come.
You know what? I'm gonna write a completely different one. So Log of the Dead is now a musical too. Got it.
Incredible. Look, by the end, we're going to have the entire concept sorted out by the end of the show, everybody.
Yep.
It's a musical, it's zombies.
Yeah.
It's got everything. It's got everything.
High School Musical and Walking Dead all put together in one.
Tied together by the logging industry. Industry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the project of the century. Speaking of, I keep saying speaking of, and then I put myself in a position where I have to actually speak of something. Although this kind of works. You guys have made this movie, but as actors, have you guys been getting? I think Michael, you have been. I know you have these auditions now that for things where they're not just looking for somebody to be the actor, they're looking for people to actually make produce the footage themselves and then submit it. Have you been getting these?
I've not. No. I've just gotten the issue with me is that my agent no longer represents me just because she's retiring. So I'm not really. I'm repped until the end of June, but she just hasn't really been that active. So the last thing that I did was a motion capture, but that's the closest thing that I think probably what you're talking about. But
motion capture like
video
you wear
games.
that suit and stuff. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. But, no, literally they were just we just want to see how you move, and it's not like your regular stand and deliver type of thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've never done one of these, so.
Wow.
We're competing
so awesome.
against each other, Tim.
I was gonna ask that because I know Scott and Michael have both auditioned for the same role. Have all three of you, or Tim and Michael, auditioned for the same role?
Scott and I have actually auditioned for the same role.
Who got it?
And
yeah.
No.
I think
no.
I think neither of us.
But I got no. Scott got it, but I got a different role in the show. So we're in the same episode.
I auditioned for the same episode. I didn't get it. Screw you too. Screw you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ask.
I'm kidding.
Well, but I will find because Michael and I, we were in. We can talk about it now, right? It's been on the air. We can, right?
Yeah, it's just not in North America, but in Europe and Asia, yes.
Okay, yeah. So the two of us were in an episode of Mayday together, which is coming soon to North America, apparently. But I don't know if maybe it's just because we probably have seen each other at the same auditions before that, but I guess because we never worked together, we didn't know each other. But we saw each other several times at auditions after that episode.
Yep. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's
one modeling audition you and I were at, and then
Yes.
2 commercials. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember what the modeling one was for, but
I
mean, when we say modeling, it's not like we're not going to like high fashion modeling auditions. It's like a print ad or something.
Print ad,
So
yeah.
low modeling audition,
No, it's
Low
not
level.
print ad modeling.
Low level modeling.
low fashion.
Print ad.
But yeah, Regine, sort of to answer your question, I think we've all seen each other. I mean, basically because they tend to cast for like, I don't know, types for a lot of things. So like the 3 of us, because of our, ethnicity and so on,
And
we
our
tend
height.
to like, and our height
We
as
all
well.
have the same
And our height,
hair,
yeah.
the same. I mean, I was just curious.
So when they're casting for something, usually it's like they basically just call the 3 of us, and like it's usually one of the 3 of us that gets the role each time because it's just the 3 of us. So, but yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know. That's just that's how it is. But yeah, what I asked earlier about it's interesting. I've been noticing again, I guess because of the situation we're in, all productions are shut down pretty much.
Yep.
So I've been seeing these auditions that are like, I auditioned for a commercial a little while ago where they usually a self-tape. They just want to see you in front of like a plain background. You're just talking to the camera. But this time they were like, we want to see your living space. We want to see areas you could film. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, it was one of those types of shows. Yeah, I don't know. But no,
That was a shampoo.
but no,
commercial.
Scott, did it involve you taking garbage out of your house?
indeed it did. Indeed it did.
Okay.
Same
Oh.
audition?
Oh, come on. Gotta be one of us, buddy.
Yeah. But it was so weird because they were like, yeah, we want. It's just the first self-tape I've ever had to do where they want like production value because they're looking for an actor, but also somebody. It's such a strange thing. It's something I never would have thought I'd see, but it's I don't know. Again, it's just showing how much the industry has been affected. That they got to find some way to keep rolling, right? So
Well,
it's been weird.
as my agent was explaining to me, moving forward, they do want actors with some kind of filmmaking eye at minimum. Because, like, even if we as actors won't be directing ourselves, they want to know that if, let's say, they have a director on a Zoom call with us, and we're the ones holding the camera, we understand enough about filmmaking, or at least have the ability to know framing, that when they tell us they want something, we can do it quickly.
Yeah.
Because if they say like do this angle and then walk out of, I don't know, like do this in the frame, and we're just struggling with it's cost them money, right? Time and money. So they want actors who are more capable with a camera, and obviously with the capability to shoot 4K as well, because that's what they want to shoot in, and then they'll go from there. But yeah, that commercial that we both auditioned for is not the only one. I've got another one recently. Same thing. Like, they wanted to see my living space. I had to give them options of places in my house and outside of my house that I can film. And then they wanted, essentially a short film being made as an audition piece.
It's pretty crazy. It's just I don't know, again.
But like now, Timothy, even though you don't have or you won't have an agent soon, at least you have your newly found filmmaking skills.
Yeah. So I'll be filming some random stuff and just trying to put stuff together.
Yeah, it's a totally new thing. It's I mean, I think it's cool. It's just I was very surprised when I heard about it, because I don't know why in my mind I didn't think that it would even be something that would be possible, just given how, I don't know, union stuff is and how big the industry and all the roles that are involved. I was like, oh, okay, I guess everything's just shut down, but I guess the productions still need to make stuff. People want content, people want commercials, people want all that stuff. So this is how they've done it. They've Yeah, and cameras I guess are better than ever. So I guess everybody theoretically can make a really nice looking thing just with a cell phone. So
yeah,
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, have you guys been following along any of the SpaceX stuff that's been happening?
Unfortunately, no.
The space.
Well,
what's
yeah,
that?
SpaceX. There was a rocket launch yesterday.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
yeah, I
no,
heard
no,
about
no.
that.
I haven't
Well,
been
basically,
following any of that.
so it's basically it's pretty cool. So SpaceX is obviously their private company, building rockets and stuff. But yesterday it was a historical day because it was the first time that a private built rocket was able to send 2 astronauts into space. So it was like the first manned private rocket launch ever, and it was pretty cool. And but I guess we could talk about something else because nobody's watched it. But I've been following along. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been enjoying the space stuff. Are you guys interested in space at all?
I actually saw parts of that clip that you were talking about, Scott, on social media. And I saw a meme where it was like 2 people left planet Earth for 2020. Good choice.
Yeah, exactly.
It was perfect timing,
Good time
too.
Perfect timing to get out of here. Yeah, I mean, you know what the funny thing? People say that it's like, yeah, we got to get off the planet. But I mean, the funny thing about that sentiment is it's like people are, when you say that, it's almost like they think that the Earth is the cause, but human beings are the cause of our problems. So like if we left the planet, the problems would just follow us. So I think people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Earth. It's not the Earth that's making things go wrong. So
Yeah.
little.
I don't know. I find it's weird because like when I was young, like a kid, I was all about space, sci-fi, and all that. But I found that as I got older and older, I'm still fascinated by all of this stuff, and I love sci-fi. Like I'm still like a Star Wars, Star Trek fan, and all of that stuff. But I found that my interests have become more, I guess, grounded, as in on Earth.
Yep.
But no, space still fascinates me, and the concept of us actually colonizing, other planets it's something I always think about. I'm like, what will happen when we do that, right? Because I think I read an article recently about how like there are so many habitable Earth-sized planets just in the Milky Way galaxy alone. Yeah. Like eventually, I mean, we just took the first step, I guess, into potentially going there in the future yesterday, right? We have all these 2 being shot up and at some point, and they're still working on the Mars colony.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. And they even have like super famous architect Bjarke Ingels working on their colony homes and stuff. So like it's crazy where we are at now. And I mean, I don't think I'll be around by the time we colonize.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'd love to think about. But what I'm also interested in thinking about is the recent discovery of those. You hear about the potential for a parallel universe where time goes backwards. Did you hear about that? I mean,
I've heard of the concept, but I didn't know like something recent like talked about it.
Yeah, no,
I didn't hear that.
These energy particles, I think, that are supposed to be, I forgot which direction it was supposed to go, up or down, but they were going in the opposite direction that they know these particles to normally go. And so one of the theories that's gained quite a bit of popularity right now in the news is that these particles actually are from a parallel universe or a parallel dimension where it's us, but every time is moving in a backwards fashion, but not the way we think. It's not like they're de-aging like Benjamin Button or anything. Like it's just their concept of time is the opposite of our concept of time.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, time is a lot of people. Yeah, like time is not fixed. I know that's a lot of people. It's hard to wrap your head around that idea, but like, I believe it's really. I'm gonna sound like anybody who knows what they're talking about won't know. I'll sound like an idiot to them. But I believe it's like the amount of gravity affected on your body. It's why, like, so in Interstellar, for example, the closer they got to the black hole, they experienced time. Time was going faster for them, so it was like for an hour for them would have been like years on Earth, and it's because of the amount of gravity, I believe. So
yeah, the gravity.
So time is not. Yeah, so we think of time as this thing that's just happening all the time, but that's constantly going. But the truth is, it's not. It's not a fixed thing that always has to be as it is. It actually can be different. So that's interesting. I haven't heard that though.
I did also like. Few years ago, I was reading about colonizing and other planets, and they're saying that maybe the key to traveling such long distances doesn't lie in fuel-based rockets, but instead ships with the ability to bend or almost fold time and space, so that you'll start here, you'll bend the other side over, and then you'll end up over there. And I'm just like, wait. How? So, I mean, if they are able to theorize in that manner, that means that you're right. Time isn't exactly linear the way we think
it is. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it plays into like the clock, right? Like we kind of measure time with the clock or with a watch, and we're just like, oh, okay, so this is how time is supposed to go. But I think like if we just took that out of the equation, like there's like. Yeah, it's like not as simple as we think it is.
Exactly. Oh, Jessica Flowett Chan says, big ball of wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. That pretty much sums up what we've been talking about.
That's my wife, by the way. Hi, honey. Thank you for joining us. I love you. I fixed the problem I made a long time ago.
He's actually married.
Yeah. Fix the problem of time. We fixed the problem of time in this episode. Yeah. It all comes together. Oh, Regine, we should do the ads because I didn't realize we haven't done them.
Sounds good.
So this episode, this incredible conversation that we delayed the ads a little bit for, but it's going to be okay. But it was brought to you by some very important people, right, Regine?
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's right. Today's episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. Hey, Regine.
Yes, Scott.
Do you want to find out what your home is really worth?
Sure.
Are you buying or selling a home?
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Well, if you are, ladies and gentlemen, then Jennifer C., Realtor at Home Life Culture Link, is here to help. Call or text Jennifer today at 647-403-8887. Don't deal with just anyone. Speak to a professional. And even during this pandemic times, she's still offering services and advice and all of those things. So feel free to reach out to her, Jennifer C. at Home Life Culture Link. To see her current listings, visit homelifeculturelink.com. The Mortgage Godfather is here to give you advice with any mortgage needs you may have, and he will shop to find you the best mortgage. Nino Simeka, mortgage agent. He'll give you an offer you can't refuse. Yes. Find out more at mortgagegodfather.ca or call 905-604-6955. And it was brought to you by Jewelry Forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and they change watch batteries, all done on site. And we've got a wonderful deal worked out with them, don't we, Regine?
Yes, we do. Once the stores reopen, which from their Instagram it looks like they're opening soon, make sure you let them know that Scott and Regine sent, and you will get 50% off your purchase.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 15% off. It's an incredible deal. Let them know Scott and Regine sent you, and get yourself something nice. And yeah, that's right. And also, you should follow them on Instagram at Jewelry Forever, because they're doing a lot of giveaways. I know right now they're doing a Father's Day giveaway. Yep. And yeah, that's right. They're doing Father's Day, and I think they're also doing a Canada Day giveaway. That's right, Regine. You have to. It's only to their followers on Instagram, so get on there, follow, like the posts that they post, and possibly win yourself something nice. And honestly, the work they do there, is amazing. I mean, like Jerry, who works and owns the place, he's a real artist with that stuff. He creates custom things. You know, you want your name made into something. I saw him post about that. Custom rings, just everything. So get in touch with them and let them know Scott and Regine sent you and get 15% off your purchase. Mm-hmm. And if you'd like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
So simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad. That's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. Get in touch. We do this show live, which means the ads are live, which means if you have a specific event or sale or something to that effect that you need to get, exactly, that you want to get out to your audience in real time, let us know and we can do that. It's a great brand new way to have a special personal relationship with a new potential client base. Get in touch, radio show ad at gmail.com. And we're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, with Timothy Ng and Michael Chan. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Can I start the conversation this time?
Sure.
Yes, Regine, do it.
So I brought it up to Scott yesterday. So Miss Eco International Pageant winner of 2019 was recently dethroned from her title because she got pregnant. But here's the thing. So her reign was only supposed to go up to January. But because of the pandemic, it was extended. And rather than typically in a pageant, the first runner-up will get the new title. But the first runner-up is Miss Philippines, and she's currently running for a new pageant. And now there's all this conversation on why the second runner-up nor the third runner-up were picked to be her replacement, right? And so they went to the fourth runner-up, who is Miss Malaysia, who is now the new reigning for 2019, which is only for a couple more months. My question to you guys is, like, yes, there's a lot going on where she got pregnant and they skipped all these people, but you guys are all males. So my question is, they have a male segment of the pageant. She was dethroned because she got pregnant. As a male, if you impregnated a woman during your reign, do you think it's fair that you guys got dethroned as well? Michael, you're a father.
First of all, I don't know much about pageants.
Mm-hmm.
I am actually in shock to hear that she got dethroned because she got pregnant.
So with pageantry, a lot of pageants, once you win, you sign a contract, and the contract usually states that you can't get pregnant within that time frame because in the eye of the organization, you are this role model to all the people who are following you. And so to get impregnated, I guess, is not a good look.
What?
For some people. Well, because you're technically not married, and these girls are within the ages of 18 to 27. So.
Yeah. So most of these pageants, so it's not just that you can't be pregnant. It's like you're supposed to be single, unmarried.
Never had children. Never been married.
Never had children. So that's the rules that they set down. And so yeah, this Miss Eco winner, her reign was Miss Eco National. She was so her reign was only supposed to be a certain amount of time, and then because of the pandemic, it got extended, and in the time that it got extended, she got pregnant, and so they took her crown away. And so anyway, I guess, yeah, I don't really, again, I think that outlook in general of like it must be a single woman who's never been pregnant, et cetera, I mean, for me, that's a little, I think that's a bit of a dated idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the same time, I do understand, like, I mean, an organization can do whatever they want if they want to make that the rule. So I don't know. I mean, Regine, you were asking in terms of males, like, so if, like, is there a similar contract for male pageants? Like, they're not allowed to become fathers in that time? Does such a thing exist? I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that it doesn't. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to guess it doesn't.
If I was a pageant man,
If you were Mr. Eco International.
Mr. Eco.
So if I was Mr. Eco, and I,
you're not married at this point. Just to your wife, I'm just saying this as.
Right. So I get someone pregnant, right? I give up my crown because it's personally, I don't think it's fair that women are forced to do that. And if I'm responsible for fathering a child, and for the other gender they have to do it, then I feel that I would have to give up my crown too, just because it's exactly the same thing. But at the same time, I would also then go and fight and try to change the systems.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a specific pageant system. Like, there are other ones. So, for instance, the Galaxy pageant, which I'm involved in, for even the teen and the Miss and all the other divisions, you can be with you can be a single mom and still be a Miss or a Ms. Mrs. is literally the only division where you have to be married. But other than that, they're really open.
I just think it should be equal. Honestly,
yeah,
it should be equal.
It should be, yeah.
The rules should be. I don't care if a man doesn't show. If that's the thing, right? Yeah. You do it. You do it. The contract should be the same, in my opinion.
Yep. Well, I mean, especially Regine. So before this, I know you guys haven't seen it, but Regine sent me the statement that they gave for kind of their explanation of why they took her crown away. And the thing that they were really stressing was that the reason that they had to take it away, was because now that she's got a child on the way, it would be irresponsible for the sheer amount of travel and running around the world she has to do, that she wouldn't be able to focus on her child. That's the kind of the justification. So if that's the actual justification, then the problems faced there would be the same whether it was a male or a female.
It would be the same.
Because there's no mention of it's because we don't want to see a pregnant person wearing the dress. They couldn't say that even if they wanted to, although maybe that's actually what it is. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, I guess the question I have, Regine, is so within the strict confines of their rules, right? Has she actually broken them?
It really depends on when she got pregnant, if you think about it. Like, if her contract states that from this day to this day you cannot get pregnant, then say they had to extend it because of COVID. I don't know. It's difficult to answer. Like, I know for myself as Ms. Galaxy Canada, on my contract it states that I can't get pregnant either. Mm. So
yeah. So I guess. Yeah, the only part I think is kind of silly. So Deathshot says, if you get pregnant, you get dethroned. That's kind of dumb. These rules are kind of whack. That's Deathshot weighing in. But the only thing I find weird is it's okay, I get it. She can't travel, let's say. Although, honestly, I think that's up to...
travel.
That's the thing. That's the point I'm making, is that this is kind of a unique situation in that, even the newly crowned person, nobody can go anywhere. So
people are getting upset with that, actually, because their comment is because she can't travel because she's pregnant, which is fair to any pregnant person. But they're fighting back, saying she's done the entire year of her reign. It's only extended until the end of COVID. Why take that title away from her when she's not even traveling or going anywhere, and then give it to Malaysia, who was the fourth runner-up? Not saying anything wrong with Malaysia, but she should have just kept the title.
So that's the thing. So now, in the kind of the history of the pageant now, she is no longer listed as that crown, right? It's now when people look at 2019, it's going to be this other person. So it's she never won because they took
even
it away.
Though she did an entire year's reign and did so much with her title.
That's insane.
That is insane.
To me, that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. So there you go. I think Regine. I think all three of us are generally in agreement. Yeah. There are some people on DLive in the. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
And they looked like they were in shock. If you had to focus on Michael's face when I was telling the story, he was like, "What?
What?" Yeah.
It was like your burrito commercial all over.
Oh, yes. It felt
That-
like eating a super hot burrito. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Deathshot says the traveling rule is invalidated. No one can travel. Exactly. That's the thing. It's Regine, I suspect there's something more going on there. Like I don't know. I just feel like this. Who knows? You never know politically what's going on behind the scenes. But it just feels like usually if there's some weird inconsistency that no one can explain, it's usually because there's some variable that we're not being made aware of that is also there.
There's just a lot going on with that organization right now. Like Miss USA is speaking out about her experience and not being asked to even be considered for the new title, even though she was third runner-up. So there's a lot going on. A lot.
Something going on there. There's somebody else in the chat on DLive, but I'm sorry, they're speaking another language and I don't speak it. But thank you. Welcome to the stream. Hello. This is the sit down. We're here with Michael
Hello.
Chan and Timothy Ng. But I don't understand what you're saying. But hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. I don't know what you're saying, but hi.
Hi.
So Regine, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that situation other than it's interesting. I don't know.
Okay,
You guys
cool.
got any other final thoughts? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, Scott, you were Mr. Philippines, PIDC, whatever year you competed.
Indeed,
Yes,
I was.
I know you like that plugin. So say you got someone pregnant, would you continue your reign? Because you're still technically reigning.
That's true. I am still technically rating. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Just for you two who don't know, yeah. So years ago, I won a pageant, Mr. Philippines, and the following year they got rid of the competition. They got rid of the competition the following year, so I never had to give my crown away. So basically, I'm technically speaking still reigning forever. So Reggie, what you're saying is
You're the Toronto Raptors and the Toronto Blue Jays of that pageant?
Sorry?
correct. Yes.
Well, you're a Canadian who won it, and then next thing you know, everything goes to hell.
Oh yeah. Essentially, yeah. Just
Well,
take it
Sure.
away.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Wait. To his defense, it was a Filipino-Canadian organization.
Oh, it's
Oh yeah. So
That's fine.
Come on.
everybody who was competing was also Canadian. Everybody else who was competing was also Canadian. But yeah, so
Right.
Regine, so your question is, I mean, okay, so you're saying so the thing is, one, I can't remember for that pageant if I even signed a contract, but I don't recall anything about pregnancy or anything about that being mentioned. If it had been mentioned, so at the time, I was not at all, that was not even an option about, starting a family at that time. So I probably would have signed such a contract. And then if time had gone by and they decided, okay, well, you did. I mean, again, the thing is about it is like, even if I think it's a weird, archaic rule, if I sign a contract saying and agreeing to the rule, like I didn't have to sign it, I didn't have to be in it. So there is that. The only reason I think this particular situation is bizarre is because, a reign goes from this date to this date, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess in my case, okay, Scott, we extended your reign for the next 3 decades, right? Because we got rid of the pageant, so you're the only one. We're going to take your crown away if you got someone pregnant. At this time, I'd be like, well,
What if
Okay,
I want a
get-
family one day?
Sure.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, I guess I'm of two minds. One, I think the rule is kind of archaic, but at the same time, if you agree to an archaic rule, then
Yeah.
it's hard to complain when the rule is enforced.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
So Timothy, I
Yeah.
have an idea for a film for us.
Okay.
So we're gonna make a documentary about Scott, and so once he gets someone pregnant, we'll start following his time, and when the child is born, he has to go find the runner-up to the pageant, and then we'll follow him with the crown all the way to when he delivers the
But
crown.
Scott didn't even get a crown.
We'll make
That's
one.
a good
We'll
point.
make one.
We'll make one.
It's the movie magic. We'll pretend one exists, but we'll actually make it, and then have Scott with the baby and his wife delivering.
We'll use the Burger King crown. You know those crowns that you get from Burger King. Yeah, we'll just use that, and it'll be like signifying this is the crown. Exactly, right? Yeah.
Love it.
It all comes together. And what I like about it is, Regine, like you said, we got to work this in with the
Lumberjack.
with the Lumberjack musical. Like, this is all related.
It's all related.
We fight through zombies to deliver it.
Oh my god.
Exactly. It's a documentary, but it's also like it's kind of like how Mayday is, where like it's real events, but it's like they've dramatized some of it, you know. So were the zombies real? I don't know. Is it a metaphor? It's
just logs.
Or are they just logs? Are we all just logs floating down the river?
Are we actually lumberjacks, or are we not?
That's the question. So anyway, I'm never giving up my crown. You can pry it from my cold dead. And that's how it goes. That's just how it goes. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to ask you guys about. What's next for you guys? That's a good one.
I don't know.
Well, you know what the thing is? I guess none of us really know, because we don't know don't even really know what the future holds, right? But what are you guys planning? What do you guys? I don't know. What do you guys want to do next?
Besides the lumberjack film.
Besides the lumberjack film, yeah. In addition to.
I guess I'll start. There's a few things. So, as you may know, I have a podcast that I co-host.
No way!
Yeah, with a phenomenal actress, Nightingale Nguyen. It's called Talking with Our Mouths Full, and every episode we introduce people to places to eat in and around Toronto, as well as bring on a guest with the goal of showcasing Toronto's diversity to the world, because diversity is beautiful and we want everyone to see how beautiful it can be. And so we've been recording a lot of stuff in isolation. We've been able to get a lot of different guests. Normally we record on location at restaurants and cafes and whatnot, but nowadays we basically do takeout, and then we do interviews over the internet like you guys are doing, except it's all in audio. We have some amazing episodes coming up. For example, we actually have our first podcast crossover coming up with a podcast called Pop and Fizz, which is in Japan.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so very excited about that. And there's a lot more coming for that. In terms of the podcast, which is available on Spotify and any other podcast platforms that you listen to on. So it's Talking with Our Mouths Full. I'm also in the process of writing I guess, Regine, you're right. I caught the bug. I'm actually in the midway through writing a script for a short film called For Your Consideration. So that will star myself and Katisha Shaw.
Nice.
I told
Very
you
cool.
got the bug.
That's awesome. Actually, go ahead, Timothy.
For me, I don't know, just like some experimental stuff. I don't know, probably just turn on a camera and see what happens, type of thing. And then I'm also like looking for a new agent as well too. So that's kind of what's next for me. But
all you
agents
watching, hit him up.
I know, right? For all the agents here watching, hit me up.
Sweet. That's the thing. This time has been it's seeing how art and things that people are creating are being influenced by this thing we're going through. Like again, suddenly it's like, oh well, I can't do anything. I can't go anywhere. Okay, well, I've got these cameras. I've got this stuff. Like, what can I create? And it's cool to see that you guys are both exploring that idea. It's pretty cool.
There's also a cool thing that's happening right now in the industry is where ton of actors get together on Zoom or other video chat platforms and do play readings. I'm actually part of a group called the Pan-Asian Pandemic Players, and we just added Timothy to the group, actually. And we basically choose a play and do it once a week. We just get together once a week, read the whole thing beginning, and usually it's a cold read, although I personally read the play prior and then kind of go into it like reading out loud for the first time. But it's a fun way for a lot of actors to kind of keep fresh, right? Because you still have to process what you're reading and then get into character and listen to what everyone else is saying and doing. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. In fact, that's something actually we should talk a little bit about is, I mean, I know me personally, I found having all this time at home and also not having, it's kind of been the end of, I must be at this place at this time, I have to go do this at this time. Has that had an impact on you guys? Like, I don't know, me, I feel a bit more sluggish these days because I don't feel like there's nothing that I have to do. So suddenly, like, the prioritizing, I don't know. I just find it's. How have you guys? So has it affected you guys as well?
I think for me it was just kind of like I'm feeling sluggish as well too, because usually I'm like. Even if I don't have like an audition, I'm going out. I'm going to the gym. I'm just hanging out with like friends. Like just doing like just out. I'm just out. Like not really much indoors. And the days that I do stay indoors, I'm just indoors for like a short amount of time, and then I go back out. And so feeling like staying at home, it just kind of feels like. It's like I'm not really doing much, so I want to watch TV, but then like after like watching for like however long, it just kind of gets boring, and then playing video games, and then it gets boring, and then I'm like I just want to go to like I don't know, go to a shopping mall or something like that and just walk around and do stuff, or go to the gym, but I can't do that, and it's just been really like I can try to find things to do, be creative, but then also at the same time, like I'm sitting at home. I don't want to really think about what I want to do next.
Yeah. I just feel like the pace of how I do things, like I just feel like my whole pace of movement in general has slowed down. Yeah. What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I found. I mean, there's two things going on, right? Like nowadays, because I'm home so much, I'm spending like way more time with my family, and having a 2-year-old, it's a lot of work, and especially like my kid, she's super energetic, and also has to do a lot of physiotherapy as well. So there's just a lot to do. But outside of her, I found that, I can't, like, my wife and I keep making all these plans to do, like, we're going to do this, like, clean this part of the house, or, like, meal prep, or whatever it is, we keep trying to make plans to do, and none of it happens.
Yep.
And, or, like, the two of us will be like, oh, God, I need a nap. I mean, we never get it because...
You have a 2-year-old?
2-year-old.
Like, what's a nap? But, like... we're so sluggish all the time. Like before the pandemic, I used to be able to get up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I'll be at the gym at 5:30, and then if I have an audition, I'll go downtown, or I go to my job or whatever, right? And nowadays I'm waking up with my kid, which is like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I can't, I've tried. I've set alarms at like 5:30, like it's getting later and later, and I can't wake up. It's just like, it's just, I don't know, I feel so demotivated outside of my kid right now. Yeah.
It's a weird thing, and the weird part is I feel like it's going to take, I mean, eventually things will get back to normal, but it's not going to be the same normal as before, and I think there's going to be a really weird, Like especially, and I'm thinking less because like I don't have, even when before this started, I don't have a regular. My work schedule was never a regular thing, right? It's always contract based, so it's more project based. I got to do this today. So, but I'm thinking for the average person who had to be at the office at 9 and they leave at 5, and suddenly they've for now months been working from home. I mean, I've got to think, how do you go back to that? I think it's going to be a really weird. It's going to be a slow change. I don't know. It's going to be weird. I don't know.
Well, I work in the events industry, so that in itself is a complete shift in what normal is moving forward. Like I've seen articles just within the industry of what is a party going to look like or a gathering going to look like after this pandemic. So,
yeah.
Do you, Regine, see parties moving forward taking a cue from Trinity Bellwoods Park? Because I don't know if you heard, they painted circles on the field 10 feet apart. So do you think party event spaces are going to start painting social distancing circles on their floors or taping it down?
I've actually
and then everyone like dances in their little circle?
Oh my God, I've seen, you mentioned circles. So I've actually seen on a few articles where, you know, those at parties, how they have like the champagne girls, how they have like this huge table around them and then like they're pouring champagne from this wherever. So there's actually like a bubble, or not a bubble, but like a circle table for guests to go into, and that's showing them what kind of distance they need to keep from one another. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Like right now, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Like it's interesting because right now, like we see, so I recently got engaged, so I see all these weddings that are getting canceled for 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
So thank you. So I'm now forced to plan my wedding way in advance, even though we're looking at a 2-year wedding date. And so I had to call the venue and call different vendors because all of their 2020 weddings are now being pushed to 2021. And some are even pushing to 2022. So rather than planning a wedding next year for 2022, I'm doing it now. So, but even then, I don't know if the world will be opened up within the next year or not.
Do you think the event spaces, let's say you book a space, do you think it'll still be open? Because I have a few friends who are actually owners of businesses that run events, and some of the spaces that they're renting, they're saying they don't think they'll be able to keep it open. Like by the time they come out of this pandemic, they might be like, they're going to have less event spaces that they're able to run just because they ran out of money.
I think it depends, because there are some venues in itself or even vendors that will allow you to extend or change the date of your event, and they'll keep their deposit. And I think that's one way to keep afloat, is keeping the deposit rather than people asking and demanding a refund, because that's when you're actually hurting the company more than you think, because now they're taking money out of their pockets, which you've already given them, rather than keeping the deposit there and then just extending the date. Like I've heard horror stories of couples that wanted to change the date but they couldn't. Some people wanted, like, it's just, or they wanted their refund back and they won't give it to them, but yet they won't even let them change the date. So there's a lot of horror stories going on there. Hopefully your friends can keep their venues open, because we need venues regardless of this pandemic or not.
Well, I'm saying it's tough, right? Because those venues, I mean, I remember for a while I was doing some shows at the Alma Combo before it closed and is being reopened now. But at the time, I remember I was talking with the owner, and he was saying how, like, because, you know, basically the venues like that, and any venue is the same, but like you have your weekends are your busiest time, right? So wedding venues are the same. They've got their special days. So like you only have like 52 weeks in a year. So you have those 52, you know, weekends that have to make up for all the money you need to get you through the entire year, right? Because Monday to Friday, you're usually a lot more, there's way less business. So suddenly you're asking these businesses to like take months worth of those days just out of the docket and not make any money.
Basically,
so
they're taking the entire year of 2020 weekends and they're putting it into 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
Like
But the problem with that, of course, is they still got to pay rent for the time that they're closed in a lot of cases, right? So it's
what I've seen with a working kitchen is they'll actually open up their kitchen to be more like a restaurant and do curbside pickup, or even donate to frontline workers. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. Everyone's got the businesses have to get creative, and so anyway, don't feel bad about ordering takeout, people, because it's actually a good thing to do at the moment. Support your local businesses. All that stuff.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Deathshot says, when this started, I just said to put a dome over places like in the Simpsons movie. That would work, Deathshot. I mean, that's basically what we're. It's basically what we're. I mean, that's what the social distancing is. Except the dome isn't there, but you just kind of maintain that dome around yourself. And Nightwolf just arrived on Twitch rather. Hi, Nightwolf. Welcome to the stream. We're here with Michael Chan and Timothy Ng, 2 actors and filmmakers here in Toronto. And we're just talking about stuff.
Talking about Switch.
Yes.
Talking about Switch.
Come on.
Switch.
Yeah, so in fact, we're probably going to wrap up soon. But speaking about Switch, so right now it was in the festival, and the festival's finished now. Yes, it's already happened.
The Canadian Isolation Short Film Festival already happened. Although I was hearing from Stephen Mann that they might start screening films that were not originally selected for the festival's show, just to give more. Again, 800 plus submissions is a lot, and they only had a top 30, and then their Audience Choice Awards is top 50 on YouTube right now. But in their opinion, they want to give more Canadian artists exposure, so it looks like they might actually be screening more stuff soon. We haven't heard if we made it into like the upcoming screening just yet, but hopefully we will. But in terms of the UK festival, the Isolation Film Festival, so their submissions end today. Today is the last day for submission, and then after that, they're going to make an announcement as to, I guess, what the award categories are, when they're going to have a screening, and all of that. However, the cool thing is right now they do have their own podcast that they're running where they interview all the filmmakers, and Timothy and I actually were recently interviewed, so we're waiting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
We're waiting for our episode to come out. But yeah, like I said, today's the last day for submission, then we'll find out more. I did hear from one of their organizers, Alex, that they are trying to find a theater in the UK to screen a selection of the films when they reopen. So, not real, but they are talking to cinemas to try to book something for later down the line, which would be cool because like if Switch somehow gets shown in an actual movie theater, I think that would just be mind-blowingly awesome.
That would be pretty dope. Yeah. Speaking of
so that's awesome.
theaters,
go ahead.
I before the pandemic or the lockdown started, I was working at the VIP at Cineplex.
Oh wow!
And they had this thing already where it was like skip like 3 seats, and then you would have one seat and then skip 3 seats, and then it was one seat, and that was like that social distance, like separation. So like in the VIP theaters, those seats are already like huge, massive, right? And it's like, and you can like recline and all that stuff. But it was like you skip 3 seats, and it was like literally like there's only like 2 people per row. And I'm like, I mean, I guess you could have something like that just for the VIP section, just to be open. But like you would not be allowed to serve food, like any of that stuff. But like I just feel like that would give a little more, work opportunity for people who work at the theater to just, have something to do, money-wise. And it would still have, and if people wore masks, I feel like it would be fine in that situation where you're still, keeping that social distance and you're inside, and yeah.
Did you see
Yeah, and
that?
I think that's probably coming. Oh, sorry, Regine. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
you go.
Mine's a completely different topic. Go ahead.
I was just piggybacking on this. I think that's probably that's what will be the normal for a while with businesses in general, right? I think they're so and not just theaters. It's going to be restaurants and everything. All of those things. I think for the next while, when things start to open up, it's not going to be how it was. Well, for starters, I think even if they did open up, you're going to have a lot of people who, even when they say it's safe, are not going to feel safe. So I think that's why the businesses are going to have to do a lot of work to convince people that it is safe. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that over the next while. Yeah, and I just hope that these businesses can stay open in the meantime. I know a lot have closed down. But so Regine, you were going to say, well, I just wanted to, so Michael, what you were saying about the film festival, so that's good, because I thought that it had happened already. So that means that when the film festival, I guess when they're finished all of their selections, is there eventually going to be, is it generally an online festival? So are people going to be able to watch Switch somewhere in the future, or how does it work?
So at least the plan for now. Okay, so the Canadian festival, we're not sure where that's going. But for the UK festival, yes, they will be making announcements about a screening date online, probably YouTube, where they will be live streaming a whole bunch of the films that were selected out of their submissions, and then they're going to do awards in multiple categories. And Alex has stated apparently our film qualifies for multiple categories, so we're kind of like fingers crossed that
That's awesome.
we
Very cool.
That's so
win
dope.
something. And we probably at some point will release the film publicly. We're not just sure when, because we need to see where the UK festival is going. Plus, we've just submitted to like 4 more festivals. So, so we're not really sure what's happening just yet with that. But yeah, we do plan on eventually releasing the film.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
But I would like to say, like, between Tim and I mean, Timothy has a lot of experience with festivals, I would say, considering he's in an award-winning multi-festival film.
Ooh, what film?
It's called Mayflowers. It was part of the 48-hour film festival challenge. I think it was like 2 years ago, and basically the challenge was we were given a character, a prop, a line that we had to say, and a genre of the movie. So the genre was random, but the three other things were set for all the films that were going to be previewed, and we got martial arts. So,
nice.
But before that, we had this planning. We were like, okay, we're probably gonna draw something like drama or like comedy or like something along the lines of that. And so we were prepping to hopefully get like drama or comedy. So we brainstormed a bunch of ideas, and then all of a sudden at that draw, we're like, oh, martial arts, and we're like, okay, what are the chances? Like a group of Asians, just getting together, and we're doing like a martial arts film. We're like, okay, like what are the chances? This is like kind of rigged, but it was also really funny. So then we like sorry, sound. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay. So like, so then we were like trying to find the venue and all that stuff, and we're like, where should we do like a martial arts thing? Because it was like really, really like close. It was like that night we draw the genre. That night we started writing, and then that night we had to find a venue as well. And then all of a sudden it was like we're panicking. We're like, okay, like where should we film it? And then the director had an idea and was like, oh, we should film it at like a flower shop, like just like a really random thing, and was like, yeah, a flower shop. You know, we never saw a fight in a flower shop before, so let's try to do it there. And so they started brainstorming, and that night I had a fundraiser that I was doing, and then midnight was like when they were like, hey, so we're gonna start fight choreography, and you're gonna have to know your lines. So like literally get off the fundraiser, rush to the venue, and they're like, so what's your martial arts like? I'm like, I've done some taekwondo, and so I can punch and I can kick. I don't know, like, what are you looking for? And then literally it was just like jump to fight choreography. Then the next day we had to be up at like 8 a.m. because the director really wanted to work on like melding the lines and then the fight. And then she was like, we're gonna try to do this in one take, but like it eventually became a thing because my scene partner was more like Krav Maga, so like more like ground game, like jiu-jitsu type of thing, and I'm more like punch and kick. So she's never done any like blocking or anything like that, and she's more grappling, and so like we had to figure out like, okay, how is she gonna do all this action and stuff like that? And she's like, you know what, forget it, we're not gonna be ambitious and go for the one take, because it like we just had to work out the choreography like so many times. And then finally that night at like around 6 p.m. we set up for the shot, and we're going, and there was like one specific line that I just could not get down, and it was like literally like 10, 20. I remember it like it was a long time because I was like just tripping out, because I was like, I can't get this line right, and every time I tried to go and say that line, it just would not come out, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? And it like honestly felt like the longest time ever. It was like 20 something takes, just like going back and forth. I'm like, I can't fucking say this line properly. Sorry, I mean, I can't, say this line properly. So like I'm like, oh, like what's going on? And then so the director pulled me aside and was like, yo, listen, like it honestly, it is what it is. It's a 48-hour film challenge. Just have fun with it. And then finally got the lines down. We worked on the fight. We didn't finish the film until like 3 a.m. on that Sunday, and we had to submit the film that night at 6 p.m. So they had all that editing to do while going on, and then we submitted it, and finally like it just went kind of viral in that sense, and was like we were in Austin Film Festival, we were in like somewhere in Europe, and we were in like New York, just like everywhere. And I think we also hit like Asia as well with that film. So yeah, doing well. And then finally CBC has bought us out. So
wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember the line?
Oh man, it is a lot of swearing, so I don't know.
Never mind.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I have it ingrained in my mind, because like I'm just like that line just it was so hard. I just wanted to strangle it and just be like, just cooperate with me.
So now that line is always in your mind. It's
always in my mind.
It's
yeah.
all you hear.
So
before you go to bed at night, you hear that line.
That intensity you had when you were like beating on Tony, is that because of that line? It's just all that frustration. You just fake beating.
So Michael, you've seen it. It's the part where I pull out the knife and I threaten her, and that's that line before the fight. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that one, I just like, for some reason it was just like I would paraphrase the line, or I would like miss a swear word, or I would miss both the words, and like I'm like, what is going, like it's not flowing out of my mouth as naturally as it would. And I'm like, why is it not coming out? And I was like tense, and then I tensed up even more because I couldn't get it, and then like all these different factors, and finally it was just like I said it, and it came out so nice, and like I'm glad that was the shot that made it into the short film. So
we're gonna put that line into the Lumberjack film.
Perfect.
And you're starring in it too, right? So it's your line.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
And it'll be the same action.
Yes, exactly. But this time with the zombie.
With a zombie. Yeah.
Yeah, this time with a zombie. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. See, I told you guys. By the end of the show, we will have worked out the entire movie, and we've pretty much done it. We did it.
We've done it. This is it. Yes. All the lines.
Stay tuned,
all the
guys.
the blocking.
What was the name of it again? The walking log. What was it? The walking log. Is that our title? Is that the working title right now?
Log of the Dead. Walking log. I don't know.
Log of the Dead.
Still in the works.
We're sorting it out. But we've got the structure. We've got the lines. We've pretty much got the movie worked out here. Jessica Flowett Chan says drive-in theaters are opening soon. Probably going to be popular option for movies. Yeah, I did hear about that. That's probably.
That's what I was gonna say. But Scott cut me off.
Do the driving.
Sorry, but yeah, good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Are you a fan of?
Really good...
Are you a fan of drive-in theaters, Regine? Because I love them.
I am. I grew up in Mississauga and like border Oakville, Mississauga. So the drive-in is like 10 minutes away from us.
Nice.
So
I've never been to...
on Thursdays when it's like cheap, I think it was Thursdays when it's like the full car is like $12 or something or $14. You know, you just jam pack your car with every family member you have and you just sleep for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's awesome. You were saying, Timothy, you've never been to the drive-in before, right?
I've never been to the drive-in before. That would be an interesting experience, actually. That would be a lot of fun.
The drive-in is just the old school feel of it, like the snacks, the concessions itself, and just the commercials that come along with it.
Yeah.
I think the challenge. I was going to say the big challenge the drive-ins are going to have now is how to keep people socially distanced at concession and how to maintain their bathrooms, because there are no bathrooms, and oftentimes they actually show more than one movie. They show like 2, sometimes 3 movies in a row. Mm-hmm. Like if there's no bathroom, I don't want to go bathroom on their fence or something. That would be
your daughter's diaper.
Everybody diaper up.
Of that.
Saying.
Yeah, that's true. But you are right. That is something that I have to work out, because that's right. It's easy enough to social distance everybody in their cars, but exactly 4 hours, 6 hours. Because that's true. When you go to the drive-in, I mean, I remember when I was younger, we used to go. My whole family, like, we go, with my parents, and it was a whole evening. Like, you get there early when it's still light outside,
So
and then you. Yeah, and I remember there used to be like a playground in front of the screen, so you go to the playground and like play there for a bit. And so it's like it was a whole event, right? So yeah, they've definitely got to have to sort out the social distancing side of that. But I do think it's a cool idea.
Can we at the sit down invent the car bathroom, car potty?
Yeah.
There you go.
So. I mean, I can fathom a way that it could work. I don't think it would involve a series of yeah, it's called the sit down. There you go.
Filtration system, a tank.
There you go.
A water circulation.
Lovely.
Yeah, it would involve an intricate series of pipes that I guess they would have to run out your car windows or something.
Would it be
None of it's very. Yeah.
Would it be like, in RVs, how they have the washroom built in, and then would you just incorporate a bidet to go with it? Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. Basically, as you drive into the drive-in, we would have to like drill a hole into the bottom of every vehicle, and that's just included. That's just included in the ticket price.
It's just included.
just destroy the car.
Yeah. It's a permanent upgrade made to your vehicle.
Yeah. Or they have those stations like at the drive-in at every like parking spot. It'll just kind of be like a Tesla charging station, but instead of a charging station, it'll be like a
pump
system. A pump system or like a tube. It just comes in through the trunk.
Gross.
Can we work this into Log of the Dead, please?
Yeah,
that's how the movie ends. It's the it's the finale.
That's the freak factor of the movie. Yeah.
It'll be revolutionary.
I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I quit.
Sorry, Regine.
Help,
There's
the
no turning back.
zombies are getting us. Quick, I can't leave the car to use the bathroom. Cut. End.
Get the drill. Yeah.
Get the drill.
It's genius. Okay, well, before we wrap things up, guys, let's one more time, I guess. Oh, well, Nightwolf asked, what is this movie about? So why don't you give an elevator pitch of Switch the film by you guys?
All right. In a world where everyone is staying home, two Asians will have a conversation that will change one of their lives forever. Switch.
Ooh. There you go, Nightwolf. Now you know exactly what the movie is about. Perfect. Genius. And Deathshot says, Scott, want to make that movie scary? Add the Skag Dead. Oh yeah, the Skag Dead was a scary character in Resident Evil 4 that he was showing me in the Discord. So we'll add him into Deathshot. We'll add him into the logging movie. It's going to be really
awesome.
really good.
Yeah.
So guys, where can people find you if they want to follow your filmmaking and acting journeys and wherever else you go?
Yeah, sure. My Instagram is Timothy Lincoln Ing, TimothyLincolNng. That's for Instagram, and then for Facebook, it's just Timothy Ing.
Yep, and I am both on Instagram and Twitter. My handle's at Michael CW Chan, CHAN, like my last name. And I also have a website, michaelchan.ca. Plus, like I said before, I co-host a podcast called Talking with Our Mouths Full. You can find it on all podcast platforms.
So fancy.
Sweet. And you also are a Twitch streamer as well.
Oh, yeah. I often forget about that. That's a pandemic thing I started doing. Yes, I am on Twitch as Super Dupe 15Q. That's SUPERDUP 15Q.
Sweet. And I put those links in the description, everybody. There, if you're watching on YouTube, their Instagram links are down there, and also the Twitch link for Michael's is down there, and also the link to the trailer for Switch is there as well. So make sure you go down there and check it out.
Ooh.
And Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube.
That's
I
right.
always forget that I have YouTube. You guys can find me on YouTube. I'm sure Scott left it in the description box. If not, he will. Right, Scott?
I did. It's down there. It's down there.
Perfect. And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at It's Regine Alaina. Mostly on Instagram. Again, it's at It's Regine Alaina, where I post everything behind the scenes of the pageant. And if you want to follow my Galaxy page, you should. On Instagram and Facebook, it's Ms. Galaxy Canada. Where can they find you, Scott?
You can find me right here where you're watching this show, youtube.com/ScottDionBrown or twitch.tv/ScottDionBrown or dlive.tv/ScottDionBrown. If you'd like to follow me at other places, you can find me right here at Scott Dion Brown on Instagram and Twitter.
What
and
happened to your
also
TikTok?
Oh, TikTok's still there. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. TikTok link is in the description, but it's Scott Dion Brown official because somebody took Scott Dion Brown on TikTok. If you are the person who took it, give it because you're not even using it. They just took the name and it's just parked. There's nothing there. There's no content or anything. It's just
that's
they took
just
my name.
mean.
It is mean. I know.
Hilarious.
I feel like it's so. You know what it is? I genuinely think it's somebody who saw us talking about it and then just took it as a joke. I actually think that's what it is.
I think it's Deadshot.
Probably.
No, just kidding.
No, it's not.
Deathshot.
Deathshot wouldn't do that. Deathshot goes, and you can find me. No, where that's not true. Deathshot. You can find you right here in the audience in the chat section of the sit down with Scott Dion Brown and in other live streams that I'm on. And yeah, so that's where you can find us.
All right.
What was? I guess that's about everything, right, guys? Any final things? Any final thoughts? Things you want to let the world know?
Just want to thank you guys for having us on. Like, it's
Yeah,
just, never in a million years would I think that I personally would be interviewed as a filmmaker. So it's a pretty big deal. What about you, Tim?
Yeah, same here. Thank you for having us on the show. And yeah, I just never would have categorized myself as a filmmaker now. So I guess I can have that title under my business card as, actor, singer, tap dancer, filmmaker.
Tap dancer?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
this guy can dance. He's
tap. Okay,
Oh,
so
stop.
when the studio is open again, we should have Timothy come on just to tap dance.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sounds good.
We'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
That's awesome. But guys, thank you guys for being thank you guys for being guests. I really enjoyed your first film together. Like I said, I laughed. I like that it was, it's a short little movie, but it starts off with drama, and it got me interested right away. It's a very fun movie. It's well done, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next from you guys.
Right.
And Deathshot says, I wouldn't take his name. I know you wouldn't, Deathshot, and I don't even have TikTok. Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, all of you watching, thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with us. You can't go anywhere, but you could have gone anywhere the internet would have taken you, and yet you chose to be right here.
Sure.
And for that, we thank you. Also, if you'd like to, or maybe you already are, if you're listening to this audio, we are also on Spotify, so check out the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown on Spotify if you'd like. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys all again very, very soon. And once again, Michael, Timothy, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Regine, I'll see you. I'll see you next week. You're welcome. Yeah.
You're welcome. See ya.
All right, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Stay safe. Be good to each other. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Social isolate. Take care of each other.
Yeah.
Play your
And
Switch.
just be player switch. There you go. Player switch.
Play your Switch.
All right.
Original.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.